Guys, it's Pat from Pat's Brewery and we're looking at auto siphons. So first of all, I am going to apologise for a little bit of background noise. We are doing a brew day today, so we're in the middle of a sparge. So if you're hearing water in the background, that's why. But thought I'd do this while we're kind of doing the rest of the day. So yeah, auto siphons. I'm sure you're thinking, why are you doing a video on auto siphons? And it's because I've got a new one. And you're probably thinking, do you really need to do a video? You know, why have you got a new one? And why do you need to do a video? Well, this is my current auto siphon. I'm sure that many of you will recognise it, have something similar. Works on the whole pump method. Does work, but one of the things that I've found is that even though I've used a number of different techniques, I always see air bubbles running through it. Now obviously I don't use this that often now because I mainly pressure ferment, which means that everything transfers into the keg through pressure transfer, which means that auto siphon not needed as much, but there are instances where I haven't maintained pressure in the fermenter, and auto siphon would be handy. Or if I do just use a standard bucket or just don't pressure ferment on an instance, siphon comes in handy. Now, yeah, when using this one in the past, I've done standard tricks to try and avoid oxidization or oxygen getting into the beer when transferring by adding some of the water actually to the top of the siphon tube, so that there's a water barrier at least on the inside. That was one of the causes. People say make sure that you seal up here, maybe a little bit of Vaseline around there, make sure that that's all done. But yeah, I'd still find bits. And another reason why I needed a new one is that I recently used this to get the water out of the bottom of my Kegland because I can't get to the drain anymore from the old freezer, so I had to draw it out that way. I did remember that I had a wet vac that I was able to use, but I used this, and anyway, the hose is a little bit grubby, and anyway, I thought I'd get a new one. And I may have mentioned, but it was my birthday recently, and what do you say to people when you go, oh, it's my birthday, could you get me? And you ask for things that maybe you wouldn't get yourself. And what did I get? I got the Kegland, and I think they called it the Jigger, the Jigger siphon. So let's get this out and I'll show it to you. I've not used it. I have had a little look, but I've not used it yet. So this will be us going through everything regarding how this works. So as we open up the box, what do we have? We have one metal tube with something on the inside. We have, the tube came in that. And then we have the actual siphon hose. Now I think when I looked into this, it was called out as being 10 mil approximately, which is quite a lot more than any of the other siphons that I've used in the past. So the advantage that was called out in all of the videos that I've seen of this is that by it being of a thicker gauge, transfers actually happen a little bit quicker. Now, where this has been packed, seems like there's a couple of seals, so just popping them open. Cool. And that will go on there in a moment. Let's do that. But before we do that, well, should we have a look at the insides, or should we do that in a bit? So let's see it in action, then let's have a look at the insides of how it all works. So getting this on, now not heated this or anything, literally you're seeing this for the first time, but I've been able to get that on there pretty easily. I dare say if you are struggling, you'd heat it up in some hot water or something, and will make the hose a little bit more manageable. With regards to water, I've got 5 litres of water here and an empty bucket, and that's what we're going to be siphoning. So hose, I mean, this is what, about 1.5 meters maybe, which it's good length. And the instructions on this is gently raise the water up or raise the siphon up and down in the piece. So we're going to do that and see how long it takes. Right, we're in. Nothing yet. Can't hear the jiggle anymore. Okay, so I had a little bit of a play and it's working now. Let's just make sure it stays. Hang on. There you go, you can hear that running. Now you can also hear probably also hear quite an annoying rattle. Now I moved the spring and the marble that's inside that, and I'll show you in a bit how it all works. I don't think I've necessarily got it right, but I think it wasn't orientated correctly. Oh. Well, I pretty much started recording as soon as it got going, and we've been talking for less than a minute, so let's say 4.5. I mean, we've still got about half a litre in here. Hang on. Yeah, so we still probably got about, I don't know, half a litre in there from where I just pulled it out. But yeah, it took about, what, a minute to drop that. So very fast when it actually got going. So let's show you what I meant by the marble and the thing. So you won't be able to see from here, but in there is a marble and a spring. Now this part here, there's 2 parts to it, and the spring was in this first section, but I actually moved it to this section. Now I don't know if I should have, probably shouldn't have. I might try it again with the spring back in this bit, but in this part we've got a marble, we've got a spring. Now something else that I also found when I opened it up is that the marble and the spring was like this, and the marble had actually got stuck quite a bit in there. So I actually changed the orientation of the spring to be this way, because you can see it's bigger at that end, smaller at that end. So put it like that, just so that there's more of a gap for water to maybe get past. As I say, probably shouldn't have done this at all. And the marble was definitely in this section. So it might be that actually the correct way to do this would be to have the spring in this end and the marble going that way. I wonder if that will screw in. If it does, we'll do round 2, see if we can get less of an annoying... Yeah, I did just drop the marble. I see the springs going around the thread, and we don't want that. Don't want that, no. Yeah, I'm going to go with the way that I've done it. The way we're doing it. Having this piece on, then spring, then marble, then the end cap, like so. That's how I've got it orientated. That doesn't also sound like the first time I was shaking it, it sounded more like a clatter. So let's give this another go. So ready? There you go. So, whether or not I wasn't jiggering enough, I don't know, but once it gets going it really does flow. How is this going to work with beer? Well, yeah, I mean, I wonder if there's a knack to it that I've just not got yet. I don't know, maybe. So, what's the summary with regards to the Kegland Jigger Syphon? I don't know. I mean, we've only had a practice. Once it gets going, he's quick, and yeah, once it also gets going, I couldn't see any air bubbles, but getting it going was definitely harder than the Kegland video suggested. I don't know. Well, I've got it now, I'll use it, you know, when I need it, and whenever that will be, I'll film that and we'll see it in real action. But yeah, mixed reviews with it, because you know, the Kegland video is very much a, oh yeah, just a couple of pumps and you're done. So yeah, bit of a mixed bag with this really. I do things so you don't have to. I've been Pat from Pat's Brewery. We're testing out the Kegland Jigger Syphon. Cheers. You all knew it was going to happen, didn't you?